Hi, I'm glad you could join me for this Facebook Live. Um, things are crazy right now for all of us. All of us are in something of an upheaval, and this is not my first rodeo. I have been quarantined two other times. One was sort of an accidental, the other one was required. And I want to share with you some tips about what I learned during my quarantine and how to thrive during this social distancing because, um, you know, I'm an introvert. And I know those of us who are introverts are enjoying joking about how for us this is like a vacation, this is like real life for us. But the truth is, this is a challenge for all of us. We are all going to have to adjust to a new normal. So, I wanted to tell you about my first quarantine and how I did it all wrong. My husband comes in for a lunch break and he says, "Oh my gosh, why are you crying? What happened? Is everything okay?" And I just started blubbering. "No, everything's not okay. Dr. Green has a brain tumor. He's gonna die. They have a new baby. He's not even gonna know his dad. And the old people were holding hands when they died, and you and I have to die on the same day because I can't do this. I have to die." And we were newlyweds, okay? And he was like, "Oh, you've been watching ER, haven't you?" I was like, "I've seen this season. I know he's not gonna live. The brain tumor is gonna kill him." And I was bawling. So, what happened was we got married and we immediately moved across the country for my husband's master's degree program. But it was an accelerated master's degree. They did it in 2 summers, which meant they started a class on Monday and they took a final on Friday or Saturday, which meant I didn't see him. And we were only there for 2 months. I had no friends. I had no hobbies. I couldn't even get a job because we were not staying. They put us in the dorms. We had a meal plan. So I didn't have any cooking to do. And there was a cleaning crew that didn't speak any English. I tried talking to them. I was so lonely. So they came and cleaned every day. I didn't have anything to clean. And there were almost everyone else in his program was single, which is why we were all in dorms. So there weren't any other spouses for me to hang out with. I had no way of meeting people. I couldn't even get a library card because we didn't live there. And so I watched TV all day. I watched ER. I watched a lot of infomercials. I cried a lot watching ER. I took it very personally. And I lived that way for 2 months. It was awful. Awful. Was I required to stay home? No, but I had nowhere else to go and nothing to do. This was before Facebook. This was when you had to pay per minute on your cell phone and per text. I'm dating myself, but that is just the truth. There was no Netflix. It was me and the TV and an empty dorm room, and it was terrible. The second time I was quarantined was by choice. It was for medical reasons. Our triplets were 31 weekers, and they came home from the NICU in December. And RSV is a virus that for an adult is a cold, usually a minor cold, but it can kill premature infants. And we locked down and stayed home. The only reason that the babies or I left the house was to take them to doctor appointments, and then there was a protocol to keep them away from everyone. My husband did the grocery shopping, and when he came home from work and things, he would immediately go upstairs and shower and change his clothes. So I didn't go anywhere for 6 months. We didn't go to church. Anyone who came over was required to scrub down if people came over to help during those newborn stage. Like we had some family come to help us in the beginning. And it was hard, but that one went a lot differently because I followed the tips I'm going to share with you now. So I feel really qualified to share these tips because I've done it the wrong way and I've done it the right way. And I know what I'm getting into now. It'll look a little differently because my kids are older, but the things I'm going to share with you will really make a difference. Um, so the first tip I want to share with you is focus on what you can control. Human beings require a sense of control over ourselves, our surroundings, our choices, our lives. Wars are fought over it. Um, Children rebel over it. We all want to feel like we're in control, and right now, very few things feel like we're in control. But we do still have choices. We do have control over certain things, and focusing on the things that we have control on over, it's a mindset shift, it is a shift of direction, and it makes a huge difference. So I want you to make a list of what you have control over and what you can affect in your own life. The second tip I have for you is keep things as normal as possible. One of the things that is making this so hard for me and probably many of you is the upheaval. I really hate change. It's hard for me. And this isn't one change. This is a lot of changes. And it feels like my life is on shuffle right now. It's like a shuffle playlist. Things are changing hourly sometimes. And I get upset over a change in laundry detergent. Like I like routine, I like structure, I like consistency. And everything is changing right now. I've gone from kids being gone at school all day to suddenly homeschooling 6 kids. I'm not qualified to homeschool anyone. I mean, we have online school happening, but still, like, we're in charge of it, making sure it happens. And with my, the 2 youngest, we have to be very hands-on with them. And there are things, though, that we can keep as normal as possible. We have a tradition of pizza and a movie as a family on the weekends. We're no longer ordering pizza, but we're going to make pizza and still watch our movie. And making pizza is a lot of fun. We used to do that, and my kids loved it. So we're keeping that tradition. We are still going to have church. We're just going to do it at home. We're going to do it at the same time. Probably not going to be as long, but we're still going to have that in our lives. That is what we do on Sunday mornings. We do church. We will continue to do church, just in a new way for now. We are going to plant our spring garden this weekend. That is something that we do this time of year, and we're going to do that as a family tomorrow morning. That is something we have control over. That is something that is normal for us. Over the next few weeks, we'll do more yard work. We are going to continue with doing school in the morning, like they always do. We get up, we have breakfast, we get showered and dressed, and we clean up breakfast, and then we're starting school. That is normal. There will be some changes because school is now at home, but that is as normal as we can make it. It's not exactly the same, but it's as close as we can get. And keeping things as normal as possible will help you feel secure. It'll help your kids feel secure. It'll help everyone in the family feel secure. My third tip, and by the way, if you have tips, we would all love to hear them. I am not the only one who has good ideas, and so if you have some ideas, please share. I love hearing from you. My third tip is not going to be surprising. Get up and get dressed. It is fun to stay in your pajamas, sleep late, lounge and watch movies, read books, and have snacks for a few days. I love a break like anybody else, and I would be lying if I said I never did that. Of course I do that. I'm tired. We're all tired, and this huge shift can paralyze you to where you don't even know what to do. When I'm avoiding things that are overwhelming, I'll tackle something else. I cut my daughter's hair this morning because I was so wanting to avoid homeschool. The haircut didn't take that long. And then we went on with homeschool. But staying in your pajamas and lounging and reading books and watching TV is good for a day or 2, maybe 3. But getting up and getting dressed on most days will help you feel normal. It will help you have some control over things in your life. It will help you feel pretty. It will help you feel human. You'll feel more productive. You will get more done. You'll be more motivated. It's telling your brain, we have things to do right now. When I'm done doing what I need to do, I change into loungewear in the evenings. When this is over, we're going to be making our pizza, and then I'll change into my pajamas and we'll watch our family movie, because it's relaxation time for me. It's time to just chill and hang with my family. We can turn off. We're not working anymore. We're not cleaning. We're not doing schoolwork. We're not responding to Facebook messages. We're not emailing anyone. It's downtime. So I talk about getting up and getting dressed all the time. Some of you get very angry about it, and all I have to say to that is, I'm not the boss of you. You don't have to do it. It's a recommendation. It's a suggestion. It's something that helps me a lot. But you're a grown up, and you can decide if it's what you want to do. It's my way of being helpful, and if you don't find it helpful, feel free to ignore it. You don't have to be upset about it. But it makes all the difference for me. And for many, many of you, I have heard from you that as you've tried it, it has made a difference. It makes a huge difference in my mental well-being. There are times when I suffer from very severe depression, and getting up and getting dressed is something that helps me hold on. So my next tip is have a routine. Life is not coming to a halt. The world is not coming to a standstill. We have to establish a new normal. We can't go on doing nothing for the long term. We have to create a new normal, and you need to create a new routine. I'm not saying create a minute by minute, hour by hour schedule, strict schedule, but have a routine. We get up, we get dressed, we shower. I'm talking like I talk to my kids. Get up, shower, wash your face, put on your deodorant. I have to tell them step by step. Brush your teeth, put on your clothes, come have breakfast. Clean up breakfast. Now we're going to start schoolwork, but I don't have it dictated down to the minute when that's happening. Just we get up around this time. By this time, we're starting schoolwork. We hope to be done by lunchtime. After lunch, we clean up, and then everyone's going outside. And then you can do an extra chore if you want to earn some screen time. So that's, and then we have this, and then we have dinner time, and then we clean up dinner time. We are maintaining normal bedtimes and normal-ish get-up times. People can sleep in a little longer if they want to. I've been sleeping a little later and grateful for the extra sleep. But I have been very clear with my kids, we're not going to shift to staying up later and getting up later and staying up later and getting up later. We're not doing it. Bedtime is still the same time, Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Thursday. On Friday nights and Saturday nights, they can stay up a little bit later, but we're maintaining school night schedules because you have school tomorrow. So come up with a routine, block it out. In this time of the day, we do these things. In this time of the day, we do these things. Can you change it up? Absolutely. But having a plan and some structure means that things will get done. Still got to do laundry, still got to do the dishes, still got to feed the dog, still got to do all the things. It's just going to be shuffled around a little. My next tip is to move, get some exercise. Staying home is probably going to mean less movement for a lot of us. Even just the act of, if you work outside the home normally, going out to the car, parking, walking through the parking lot, walking to your office, walking around the office as you communicate with your coworkers, all these little things add up to movement in your day that you don't really account for. I'm not even just necessarily talking about a big workout. That extra movement adds up, and if you're staying home, that can end up missing. And on top of that, if you go to a gym or anywhere outside of the house to exercise, and you can't do that now, you need to find ways to get movement in your life. Take extra trips up and down the stairs. I have a habit of piling things at the bottom of the stairs that have to go up or down, and because I'm efficient, I love to be efficient, taking them all in one go. Now I'm going up and down the stairs more times. I'll just go down now and come back up, and down now and come back up to get a little more extra movement. Take the dog on a walk. We have a huge yard, so she has a doggy door, so she can go walk herself, take herself potty now, go walk her on purpose instead. And there are a lot of online streaming exercise programs. A lot of them are free. You can find free ones on YouTube, you can find them everywhere. But there are also paid subscriptions if you want to continue to support your local businesses, which I highly encourage, because like I said, we can't come to a standstill. Businesses have to find a way to continue, especially small businesses. My parents are accountants and they own their own business. Tax returns have to get done. They're accountants. They still have to, so if you can find a way to support your local business, I know that my local yoga studio is going to start streaming yoga classes, and I plan to participate because I need that in my life. I want to support my local business. They have a lot of value in our community. And so if your local gym or yoga studio or whatever is starting to stream and offer an online option, I encourage you to participate, not only for yourself, but for your community, and keep our economy moving. And that gets into my next tip: go outside. Even the time you take walking to your car, from your car to your office, in and out for errands, going to the grocery store, driving, carpool, picking things up, that's time outside in little bits. And if you're not going anywhere, you're not going to get outside maybe if you don't think about it. Social distancing is not the same as imprisonment. You don't have to shut the blinds and lock the doors and go all Boo Radley in the basement. You can still go outside for a walk. You can ride your bike. You can go for a run. You can take the dog for a walk. Just don't go with your normal walking group. Don't get close enough to get coughed on. You need some fresh air and some sunshine, and it will do you a world of good. When I was home with the babies, we had a triplet stroller. You could pop their little car seats, their little infant car seats on. It was this long inline thing, and I would go on walks around the neighborhood with them. I crave the sunshine. I need to feel it on my face. I need to feel it on my skin. I need to breathe that air. You need to go outside. Even if you just, like today, I just went and stood on the steps and just closed my eyes and felt the sun on my face. It rained all morning, but the sun came out this afternoon, and I just stood there for like 10 minutes letting the sun shine on my face, and it lifted my spirit. I'm feeling all teary-eyed. This is silly, but it's not silly. It lifted my spirits. I haven't stepped outside in a week because I've just been so busy, and there's been so much upheaval, and the weather's been nasty. It was nice, and then it got nasty, and we had that earthquake, and figuring out homeschooling 6 kids. And when I stepped outside today for 10 minutes, it just changed everything. And there were times on the weekends when my husband would just send me out for a walk, and I would put in my earbuds and I would listen to Michael Bublé, and and I would just walk around the neighborhood, half dancing, half skipping, half walking, which, if you know me, sounds really silly, except I used to dance. And so that, anyway, the music and the movement, and everyone in my neighborhood worked anyway. No one was home. No one could see me. So anyway, go outside. Even if it's nasty out, I should have gone outside even when it was nasty. You need to get out of your house. And if the weather is good enough, open the windows. My next tip is to stay connected. We live in an incredible age when we can connect with anyone in the world with the click of a button. You can phone call, you can text, you can FaceTime, you can have face-to-face conversations just like this with Facebook Messenger, with Google Chat, with Skype, because if you don't have an iPhone or an iPad, with FaceTime. Face-to-face contact, it's not the same as being in person, but this is better than nothing. And even a phone call is better than nothing, and then a text is better than nothing. Connect with people you love, connect with people you care about. We have social platforms, we have Facebook and Instagram. I have my Facebook groups, and they're your home too. And I hope you feel like that's a place you can come and connect with friends. But connect, especially if you're alone in your home right now. Please connect. We want to be there with you and for you. You don't have to feel lonely. And that leads me into my next tip, which it can be a double-edged sword. Avoid negativity. There is a difference between staying informed and wallowing in the bad news. There are a lot of heartbreaking stories out there. It's important to stay informed. You need to know what's going on, but you can take a deep dive down a rabbit hole reading a lot of really sad stories that you can't control. I struggle with this. I stopped reading the news many, many years ago because I would get so upset about what I read. Things that I had no control over, things I couldn't help anyone, people hurting people. I can't even watch movies like that. It upsets me so much. And so my husband has volunteered to be my filter so I can stay informed on the essentials without doing a nosedive into the negativity. So stay informed, but leave it at that. Don't go down the rabbit hole of things that will upset you. And that can trickle over into social media. You can't scroll through your Facebook page without reading about everything that's going on right now. And it can be really upsetting. It can be just as bad as watching the news. So select your social media engagement carefully. I really put a lot of work into keeping my Facebook community a positive, uplifting space. I don't allow any political talk, and I want it to be a place where you can come and get some relief from what's going on in the world, and that's okay. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to step away from it. You can be informed. You can be proactive without drowning in it. There's a difference, and it's good to have somewhere to go to get away from it. And my groups, you're welcome for that to be your space. You're among friends, and we're happy to have you. So my next tip is find the positive in your situation. There is always something positive. Homeschooling is not my idea of fun. It's not something I have ever aspired to, but the positive side is I am getting extra time with my kids. And I do like that. I wish it weren't homeschooling time with my kids, but I am grateful for the extra time with my kids. I'm grateful for the opportunity to break away from the chaos of our daily lives, getting to school, coming home from school, homework, getting back and forth to sports. Like, it was just a constant, I felt like a hamster on a wheel, the constant go, 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 go. And now they're home with us and we're getting more time. Experts have noticed a huge reduction in pollution during this time when people are staying home. And one thing that my husband and I have been talking about is what positive changes are hopefully coming to the whole world as a result of this. And one of the things that we've talked about is I think more companies will offer people more opportunities to work from home and have a flexible schedule, which will benefit a lot of families. It will help reduce pollution and the congestion on the freeways and all of those things. So while what's happening right now is not something I would ever choose to have happen, if there can be some good things that come of it, I want to focus on that. And thinking of any possible positive in this situation. Maybe you're exhausted and you needed those 3 or 4 days to just sleep and recover from the chaos of your life. Maybe you need and want and crave that extra time with your family and your loved ones. And maybe this is providing a change in your job that can benefit you in the future. So I would love for you to write a list of the positive things that are coming of this, that could come of this, that you're experiencing now. The next tip is prioritize self-care. This is another thing that I talk about fairly frequently. You, more than ever, you need to make time for your needs. A lot of us are now providing even more care for our families and loved ones because we're home. I'm suddenly homeschooling 6 kids. My husband and I are both doing it. It's a lot of work. It's a trial of patience for all of us, them and us. And I'm, and we're we're making even more food because they ate lunch at school. Now we're doing more dishes, and there's just more work on top of the work that we have to do for our business. And it feels like there are even fewer hours in the day, but I still require adequate sleep, and so do you. I still need that time to get dressed every day. I still need yoga a few times a week for my mental sanity, and it helps my body. I need to feed myself adequately. I need to take some time to myself each day. These things are essential so I can show up as my best self for my family and anyone else I'm taking care of. Some of you are taking care of extra people than you usually do because of this situation. And you need to take a little time for yourself every day that is self-care to you. And only you can decide what that is. I have my list of what self-care is, but my list is different than your list. We all recharge in a different way. So I'm going to go through and read these comments and see how many great recommendations all of you have for how to thrive during this social distancing and quarantining. Barbara says, hi. Hello, Barbara. Elizabeth says, very true. I don't know what I said, but I'm glad you agree. Patty says, hello, ladies. Hello, Patty. Rachel says, oh my gosh, this is off topic, but I had those earrings in gold and have always wanted a silver pair. Do you know where they're from, what the brand may be? I got these from my friend, and I did track down the brand name at one point because somebody asked me. I want to say it was Carve with a K maybe. She got them at Nordstrom Rack. If I can find it, I'll share it here in the comments. But if you Google, I think I Googled silver diamond shaped big statement earrings. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. If I can, I'll post a link in here. They're not available in stores anymore because people ask me for them all the time. I love them. They might be my favorite earrings, but you might be able to find one on eBay or Pinterest or something. I'll see if I can find it, and if I do, I'll put it here. Stephanie says, I maintain my routine even though I'm home all day. Stephanie, does that just make all the difference for you? Have you noticed a huge, that's been a huge benefit to you? Elizabeth says, homemade pizza is yum. It really is. And you know what? Pizza dough is really easy to make. You can get a bread machine and make it in there. You don't have to do it all yourself. Just dump the ingredients in, turn it on, and the dough is done in a couple hours. Christy says, our church will be live this Sunday on Facebook. Christy, that's awesome. And I hope that you get to do that and that brings some comfort to your soul and some normalcy and part of your routine. I think that's awesome that you get that. Christine says, we love make your own taco night. Oh, that's a good one, Christine. We do Taco Tuesdays, but we could do that. You know what's also really fun is we do a gourmet hot dog bar. Yeah, and you can get out bacon and you can put on some really good. We did it for one of our kids' birthday parties once, and it's really fun. you can make some really awesome hot dogs. We also plan to do some tinfoil dinners in our fire pit, roast hot dogs in the fire pit. You can roast hot dogs over your grill. So yeah, we have some fun things like that planned for the kids on the weekends because that's normal. We don't do stuff like that on school nights, so we'll save it for the weekends. But it's something fun to look forward to. I love your idea. Carolyn says our church is live streaming mass on Facebook. So happy about that. It actually makes it easier for me to attend. That's wonderful. In fact, we told our kids you still have to get up and get dressed like in Sunday clothes because we wear Sunday best to church. So the boys have to put on their suits, the girls have to put on their dresses. We're doing it real, for real, guys. Mary says, hi, April. Hi, Mary. Stephanie says, I thrive on routine, otherwise I cannot feel productive. I'm not myself without order. Me neither, Stephanie. I cannot function without my routines. If I get knocked out, it takes a Herculean effort for me to regroup. I have to have my routines. Carolyn says, I'm so happy to get up and get dressed. It's helping me to see what else I need to do to create the new normal and new routine. In a world where a day changes hour to hour, this is one really comforting constant. Thank you, April. Carolyn, you're welcome. And I totally agree. This is something I have control over. I don't have control over the schools closing. I don't have control over the spread of the virus other than staying home. That's something I can control, staying home. I don't have control over the weather. I don't have control over the earthquake that we had a couple days ago. I don't have control over my dog who peed on something in my closet for some reason. She's potty trained and has a doggy door. Don't have control over that, but I can control getting up and getting dressed. I can control keeping my routine. I can control trying to maintain somewhat of a normal life. Christy says, great advice. Well, thank you. I hope it's helpful. Mary says, I like a new normal. Good, because that's what it is. It's a new normal. And this will pass and we'll find another new normal. But that's just kind of what life is. Other generations have had to go through their own challenges. If you think about those who, went through the world wars, they found a new normal during that period, and then another new normal when the wars ended. This is not as bad as a world war, thank goodness, but this is a challenge for us, and we're dealing with the new normal right now. Lori says we should be thankful most of us get a choice to stay home. The frontline caregivers wish they could stay home and safe. Lori, amen. And if you are one of those frontline caregivers, I just want to say thank you. You are making a tremendous sacrifice for the rest of us. And I have family members who are in that front line. And after my own hospital stays and my children's NICU stays, I have a very, very big spot in my heart for nurses, especially the nurses who cared for my children in the NICU and cared for me in the ICU after their birth. They were so, I don't want to cry. I cry about when I talk about this, but the care that they gave me and my babies, I'll never forget. Doctors are incredible. I feel like nurses don't get nearly as much gratitude and appreciation as they should. CNAs, nurses, all of them, they do a lot of hard things, and they usually do it in a very kind and I don't want to cry. Anyway, thank you for all of you who are police officers, firefighters, everyone who is having to keep things functioning, but you don't have the option of staying home. I appreciate you and I pray for you and that you and your families are staying safe. Edie says, create a new normal. This really hit home with me today. Hold on. Somebody took my tissues. Oh well. We're eating a little differently and trying different brands because our usual brands are not available. I usually buy bottled tea, not available. I'm now using tea bags like I used 2 years ago. Really, really shopping my closet. My usual shopping places are closed. So I'm saving money and I'm learning a lot about flexibility. Edie, thank you for sharing your new normal. You know, that sounds like a bunch of little things, but when your world is being turned upside down, not being able to get your tea can just be that thing that that's the last straw. That is the last straw. Cannot even get my favorite drink. So, I know it can feel like a little thing that we're having a meltdown over, but it's a lot of big things and a bunch of little things, and that's just enough. And sometimes it's too much. So thank you for sharing your new normal and how you're adjusting. Christy's gonna do some gardening soon. I love to garden, so I'm excited about having some time to do that and having my children to help me. They've already been weeding and clearing and putting together my cold frame for the we've got lettuce and spinach and kale and peas and parsley and cilantro going in. So they've been putting together my cold frames and weeding and getting everything ready. April says, I went out for a walk today and I'm a new woman. I bet you are. I'm telling you, go outside. I can't go for a walk because my ankle is still sprained, but I could go in there, and that just made a huge difference. Carolyn says, oh, I always dance walk. Impossible not to when certain songs come on. And then Michael Bublé does that to me. I can't not dance walk when I listen to that album. Iris loves Michael Bublé too. Yeah, I love his music. It's great, great music. Carolyn says, I've been FaceTiming with all the grandparents to make sure they are feeling connected. Yes, absolutely. Grandparents are they're at the most at risk and the most likely to be living alone and lonely. And so please, if you have grandparents or parents or anyone that you know who's staying home and they're alone, they're the ones who really we need to reach out to and who are feeling so lonely. Christy says, so true. I don't know what that was about, but I'm glad. I agree. Lori says, my husband is my filter too. And I thank you husbands who filter for us. I can't. In fact, my husband this week said, you need to stop reading about what's going on. It's tearing you down. And so we had to reestablish that rule, and he's right, it's having a big effect on me. And my anxiety has been spiraling out of control. Corinne says, listen to helpful podcasts. Oh, Corinne, that is an excellent one. I should add that. Yes, uplifting podcasts or even guilty pleasure podcasts. I have just a small handful of podcasts that I listen to, but I should find a guilty pleasure podcast. I know some people listen to true crime ones or this or that. I couldn't listen to a true crime one. I think that would upset me too much, but I've been listening to this YouTube channel about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and the whole Mexit thing. That's been my guilty pleasure. My husband's like, why do you listen to that? I'm like, because it's not about the coronavirus. It's totally frivolous. It makes no difference in my world. It's not affecting me personally, and I can just listen to it and escape. It's a little bit of escape. But I prefer typically, there's some podcasts that I listen to that just really lift me, and those are the ones I usually listen to. But yeah, I've been listening to this YouTube channel just to get something frivolous. Julie says, I've wondered this too. I'm going to take a guess that you were wondering about the benefits of how things will change after this, like working from home and reducing pollution. If I'm right, I want to know. Julie says, I think college online is a better option too. I think it's a great option. I think there's a lot of benefits of going on campus. Socializing is important. In-person contact is really important for us as human beings. We crave it. We need to be part of a community face to face. And so I think the college experience where you're socializing and interacting, you're learning important life skills, but I think that having online options also are really helpful, especially if you're if you have a family and a job, or you have a job and you're trying to go back to school, or my friend is getting her master's degree. She's my age, and she's getting her master's degree and working full time, and she has to drive a couple of hours to get to the campus. and a couple hours back on top of the time she's there and do her homework. So like for something like that, I think even more so that online options are amazing, or broadcasting or whatever. But I think when you're college age, there needs to be a balance of in person. But you can anyway. I think it'll be awesome. I'm totally getting off topic. Stephanie says, I take multiple breaks throughout my day, just 15 to 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. I just sit looking out the window. Yeah, it doesn't have to be one long stretch of time alone. That's great, Stephanie. Thanks for sharing that. That's a good idea. Stephanie says, we enjoy chatting with you, April. Stephanie, I'm so glad because I enjoy chatting with you too. This is me connecting. I love my family. I love my husband. I love my children. I love connecting with them. But we all require friendship and connection outside of that. That's normal. And so I'm glad because I enjoy it too. Sarah says, where is your jewelry from and what is your foundation? So Sarah, if I can find the name of these earrings, I've had them. They're a few years old, so they're not in stores. But if I can find the brand, I'll share it, and you can look on Poshmark or eBay for them. And my foundation, this is It Cosmetics, the CC cream. I'd have to look to see what color it is. I think it's the second color. Usually in the winter I wear the lightest color, but we went to Cancun not too long ago and I got a little sun. This is me tan, by the way. Some people were like, you didn't, I was saying something like, yeah, it's not like you even have a tan. Of course you didn't go to Cancun. And I was like, no, yeah, I did. This is me with a tan. This is my tan face. Lori says, perfectly put together in my homeschooling. That's right. Lori's gonna homeschool. Well, Lori's already homeschooled herself and perfectly put together, but I believe she said she's gonna go through it with us this next round again. She says perfectly put together is my homeschooling. Yeah, good. It's fun, isn't it? Janet says hello from South Carolina. Hello, Janet. I love South Carolina. We used to vacation in Charleston and Kiowa when I was with my family when I was growing up. Sarah says gardening and getting outside for chalk talk time with our 4-year-old. We do chalk and catch up. I love that. That's fun. I like that idea. I bet your kids love it too. Amy says your dog is probably feeling the stress. Amy, that's what I keep telling myself. But why she chose my closet and my clothes to pee on, like, she's potty trained. She has a doggy door. What is she stressed about? She's not homeschooling anybody. Linda says thank you from a nurse. Well, Linda, thank you from me. Yeah. I'm not going to start crying again. Linda says, we're getting a little taste of how our grandparents lived. There are lessons to learn here. I agree, Linda, and I hope that none of us ever experience what they experienced, but they came together and everyone did their part. They found a new normal. They did what needed to be done, and they just sucked it up and did it. Nobody liked it, So, I agree. There are lessons to learn there. And a lot of people are coming together, and that makes my heart happy. Stacy says, cooking meals, playing games with my family, cleaning rooms and areas that have been neglected for so long. Yes. All good things. Yeah, we bought some new board games. We like to play board games together, and we're not giving them to them all at once. We're going to drip them out. But just to kind of stave off that cabin fever. And they're allowed to go out and ride their bikes. They have bikes they can ride around, and like I said, we have a huge yard. They have soccer ball, we have basketball court. They have lots of options to get active. It's just they want to see their friends, and I totally get that. Stacy says, I need to stop listening to the news so much too. My anxiety has been very high as well. It really does start to take a toll. So finding that balance of staying informed versus swimming in the filth, it can be a fine line, but it makes a big impact on me. Maddie says magnesium and Epsom salt baths. Oh yeah, I haven't taken one of those in forever. I need to do that. Maybe I'll do it tonight. Thanks, Maddie. I love those. And because I like to, I put my laptop on a bath stool next to my bathtub, and I watch something, a show on Netflix while I sit there and soak. So, like, I get a twofer. I get to watch a favorite show and soak in the tub. Stacy says, I watched the Mexit videos too. Stacy, thank you for confessing. It sounds so whatever, and usually I couldn't care less about celebrity gossip, but I just need something frivolous to focus on. And yeah, so thanks for sharing. I don't feel as dumb. Amy says, The Shrink Next Door is the best podcast I've ever listened to. I've never heard that one, so I'll check it out. Thanks, Amy. Sarah says, Noble Blood and the History of England are my favorite podcast. I'm a history buff. Sarah, I'm a history buff too. In fact, my favorite genre of books is historical fiction. And one of my favorite authors is Sharon K. Penman. I've read several of her books. They're really thick though. They're like 700 to 1,000 pages long. And so I'll read a few and then I need a break and I'll read something else. And then I'll come back. I started with the Welsh Prince trilogy. I didn't know there were books. My friend recommended it. And then I was like, there are more? So I started at the beginning. And yeah, so I'm going to check those out because I love history. I particularly love British monarchy type history. So maybe that explains why I'm enjoying the Megxit stuff so much. Thanks for the recommendation. Kathleen says, I just finished a stressful week of planning virtual lessons for 6th graders. Looking forward to a relaxing weekend. Kathleen, can I just stop and say, also, bless all the teachers. You have had to totally redo your jobs. Like, you already have a hard job. I talk to my kids about this too. Your teachers don't get paid enough to put up with that. You will not be disrespectful. You will pay attention. You will turn in your homework. And you've had to totally learn a whole new, like, I can't even imagine. And so thank you, all of you teachers who have had to do this on a dime. Like, it's not like you had a whole summer to prepare either. On a dime, turn your whole lesson plan into something online. I appreciate you, because if I had to come up with a curriculum by myself, my kids would not be getting schooled right now. They might have to take the year off because I can't. Kathleen says Sarah says same. Philippa Gregory and the Outlander series. I'm reading the Outlander series right now. I'm in book 5. It's really good. And that's my day. That's my time off each day. I take like 30 minutes and I read. And that's what I'm reading right now. And I can just check out and enjoy. I'm really enjoying it. So I've been wanting to find I don't have anyone to talk to about it. I'm dying to talk about it. Anyway, I need to find a reading group that's reading it or something. Sarah says yes probably about all this British history stuff. Yeah. Elizabeth says, yes, bless the teachers who've had to create a new way to learn lessons so quickly. Yeah, I'm really grateful to all of you, really. So, and Carolyn says, Outlander for the win. Yes, I know there had to be more of you. I'm just dying to talk about it with somebody, because my husband is behind. He's still in book 1. He really likes it too, but that's not quite his way of relaxing. That's not his, he's enjoying it. He loves to read, but that's not his top of the list ways. If he has time to do something fun, that's not his number one thing to do. So yeah. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for being part of this community, for being positive, for being kind and gracious, and welcoming and for uplifting my life. You are a positive thing in my life always, and I appreciate it, and even more so now. You are helping me keep a sense of normal, a sense of routine, and having a somewhere to go to stay connected, avoid the negativity, find the positivity, you know, and I appreciate you. So, oh, there's a couple more comments. Rose says there are several Outlander Facebook groups. So I'm only into book 5. I don't want any spoilers. I don't want to know what's happening. So I haven't joined anything like that. I want someone who's like where I am. They're not going to accidentally tell me what's happened, you know, like I'm really good at predicting the endings of books. Like I figure things out really early. I'm often right. Sometimes I'm wrong. I kind of like being wrong because I don't like figuring it out before I'm supposed to figure it out. But anyway, I don't want any spoilers, but I want someone to be like, oh, you know what I think is going to happen? It's going to be this. Or what did you think about that? Or can you believe this happened? Yeah. So I can't join a group, I feel like, until I'm done. But then I will. But in the meantime, I'm on my own. Lori says, finishing the final Outlander book now. I can't start the TV series until I finish the books. Lori? Oh, such a good book. Don't tell me anything. Lori says, great advice, April. Well, thank you, Lori. I hope it helps. Leslie says, thanks for giving us your time. It's helped me with all the new normals going on. Leslie, you're welcome, and thank you for giving me your time and being part of my new normal and my old normal and my future normal. So, Sarah says we need a stunning style book club. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. I love to read a historical fiction book club because that's about all I read. We'll take it under advisement. All right, you can see this one keeps poking her head around the corner. I think she wants my attention, and I'm sure your families need your attention as well. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon.